Hey guys, this talk show's on the go, and I'm Sunda, as you all know. Hi guys, I hope I'm on the right one. Nice music, huh? Wakes you up a little bit. I'm here at the one and only Tehran.
The music matches your hair. I will say that.
Doesn't
the
it?
The music matches your hair. And your flair.
Hair.
And your flair.
And my flair, it does, right?
Yeah, it does.
And I'm glad that you're here. I know you wanted to kill me because I'm always calling you for things, but something came up in the community recently that just changed everything, and I'm going to get right to it. You have been in this community as an entertainer for a very long time, as well as I have. When I say in our community, I mean in the Persian community. Can we just come out with that? Because that's what it's supposed to be today.
I don't know why you feel like being Persian is coming out of the closet. I think everyone knows. My name's Tehran.
Keep going.
So I feel like if you don't know that I have some type of Persian connection, my name itself, which is on almost every article of clothing, including my hat and my chains, give it away. So the concept is, I think what you're referring to is the fact that within the community of being Persian or within any diaspora, specifically Persian, immigrants, Jewish community, there seems to be a disconnect between the concept of Black Lives Matter and all lives, which they interpret their lives being a part of matter. And
now,
that
politically, that's politically, I was told that's a wrong thing to put in. So you should never now ever post all lives matter because it's political now.
It's not that, it's just political. I think people need to understand certain aspects. So let's
take it from the top with
Let's discuss what Black Lives Matter means, because a lot of people don't understand what Black Lives Matter means. It just sounds, honestly, it sounds very triggering. Black Lives Matter seems like it's something that is targeting, but it's actually anti-targeting. That's the whole point.
And peaceful. Nothing to it. It just means something.
Just like any message, it depends on the person delivering it. So it's peaceful the same way that a religion is peaceful unless someone uses that religion in the matter of violence. So when it comes to Black Lives Matter, the concept is this, and I'll explain it to you by telling you what it's not. I think that's the easiest way to do so. Black Lives Matter is not Black Lives Matter only. Black Lives Matter is not Black Lives Matter more. Black Lives Matter is Black Lives Matter also. Also, that's the key word. Maybe we needed that in the branding, but Black Lives Matter had a better ring to it. It's Black Lives Matter also. They also matter. Why is that important? Because unfortunately, in the United States of America and throughout the world, we see that sometimes the system, the people tend to forget that Black Lives matter. And we are simply reminding them that Black Lives matter also.
How do you talk to these people that live in the bubble that just heard about it but never thought it was going to affect them until Beverly Hills got hit?
Okay.
Like suddenly they woke up.
The first thing you do is not refer to them as these people. See,
these people are those people that talk about people like you and me.
I understand.
And so I'm breaking it down for you guys because I want you to know how it feels to be called these people. That's why.
But see, I don't need that. I don't
love
do that.
Everybody.
I don't do that. I don't even love everybody. I actually hate most people. But the difference is when I hate someone, it's not because of what they are. It's because of who they are. You don't
or
have
something they've done.
You don't have to group someone exactly. You
or
don't
something
have to group someone
yeah.
into a.
But they have.
Talk to them for 5 minutes, and you will hate them for who they are. It'll take 5 minutes.
How many? Let me ask you this, because I'm not mixed like you. That's a different kind of mix. Because like if you're black and Middle Eastern, it washes out to black. Right? Puerto Rican, Dominican. But the Persian community really wants to hear how you can see how they can help. Like this one, a mom reached out and said, I don't know what to do, and I don't want my kid going out. I'm scared. And she told me the truth.
And she's right. And that's why I always say educate, do not humiliate. Do not let people feel as if it's us versus them. It's not. This isn't black versus white. This isn't black versus America. This is people versus racism.
Period.
And the problem is, in America, racism is such a part of America that when you protest racism, people think you're protesting America.
Why? Is that crazy? If you wear a hat like yours I was wearing with a flag, and someone asked me, was I a Trumpster? And she said, why are you wearing that? We suddenly have forgotten that we've always had red, white, and blue. My kids' school, they're not singing the national anthem. refuse. I just don't know what to say. In Tehran, so many kids love you. That's what I want to say to you. You know that, and my kids love you. They didn't come in today, but they love you.
Your kids love me, but they know they need to be afraid of me because if I see them acting a fool, I will snatch them up. We have seen this happen in real life, if you remember.
Yes. And he was at the bat mitzvahs when I wasn't, so that's a good cover. And I should just let you all know that Tehran has been so wonderful to me. He has worked with me on so many shows. We've been in New York together. We were at the Friars together. Remember the last Friars?
The Friars that no longer
Now let's talk
exist.
about that.
That was a classic. That was a classic show. It was a classic event, and I am very thankful to you for giving me that opportunity because I can always say, I did the Friars. That's like that's a thing I can say that so many people cannot. I performed at the Friars Club, and it's because Sunda Quest invited me to do so.
Oh my God! And I've been a Friar so long, I didn't appreciate it, but I really appreciated you there. And that's why I wish, Tehran, that we could just do comedy the way we want, where everything isn't getting taken down, taken away. You can't say something now. We're getting edited.
I don't know. It's another double-edged sword with me because on one hand, yes, political correctness can feel like it's out of hand. But on the other hand, political correctness, the overabundance of political correctness does make change. I remember when I was growing up, people would say the F word, and by F word, I don't mean F-U-C-K, I mean F-A-G-G-O-T all the time. That was a very common thing to say.
Very common.
And because of political correctness, the overabundance of it, the pressure of it, honestly, as a community, as a people, as a society, we have stopped saying that word. Therefore, it worked to the point where even when you hear it now, it feels wrong. It feels wrong. The LGBTQ community has been very unified and dignified in their measures to be accepted as a norm, as their status should be in society. They've been very good at it. In fact, maybe we should start calling the LGBTQ community the N-word, and they would stop using that too. Like, they're very good at stopping in harm towards that community. And that's what people need to understand, especially about Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is not just about Black lives. I want to point that out. It's Black Lives Matter because we understand that all lives matter. That is a natural assumption. We all understand that Black Lives Matter, but Black rights are civil rights. Civil rights is a Black right issue, which then transcends to everybody. Black rights are civil rights, which are human rights. So it just starts here, but it doesn't finish with us. It ends with all of you. It ends with everyone.
Everyone, listen, kids.
It ends with everybody. That's the formation of thought that we should be understanding. That it begins with Black lives. However, it's the denotation of if we're taken away, then who's left to speak up for you?
Let me get straight to it. Do you think the Persian community has supported Black Lives Matter?
No.
Okay. No dead air on that. And why do you think that is, Tehran, when there are people darker than me and you who are from Iran?
Because I actually got a message today from someone who was like, Tehran, but you're not Black.
There you go.
But you're not Black. You're olive. You're olive like us. And I explained to him, in America, you're Black too, buddy.
Did you tell him?
That's the problem.
Did you tell him?
I was like, that's the problem, is that the Iranian community does not realize that they are also targeted, except they will just be next.
They will be.
The ish slides downhill. The slippery slope begins at the top and then it works its way down. The same Iranians who feel such a strong connection to being white, so much so that Maz Jobrani had to create a video just to convince them to put down Iranian or Persian on the census in order for Iranian Persian communities to attain some of that federal funding. They feel so white, and yet when it comes down to it, they will quickly realize that they're not. And if Black people were removed, Black people are the front line.
Always the front line.
It's the easiest. And the reason why race is such a sensitive subject is because it's the easiest. It's the easiest prejudice and bias to denotate. You look at someone, you know they're Black, then you speak to them, and then you know they're an immigrant, and then you ask them, and you realize their religion, and now you can be fully biased.
Right, or make your judgment about
exactly.
them.
Exactly.
What do we do about this, though? Because now I have new people coming up to me asking me these questions. Why am I
Beat people
allowing?
up.
No, that's what they said that I'm letting my kids do. Why are you? Did you let? And everybody's worried about Gucci. I was like, who's calling me about Gucci?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually, it's interesting about that. I'll be protesting later at a Gucci store. So if you want any types of freedom shirts or George Floyd bags, just let me know, because I want to make sure that everyone understands that the protesters are not looters, and the looters are not protesters.
Exactly.
The looters are a group of people who are taking advantage of a positive movement. And we have these type of people in every single situation. In every positive movement, there will always be a group of people who take advantage of this movement. There will be people that defraud charities. There will be people that commit acts of terrorism. Whatever the purity of something is, there will always be someone to pervert it. And that's why it's unfortunate that the looters exist. The riots, no one wants riots. No one wants looters. No sane, logical person
What
does.
can we do to make to quell this? Well, also to bring the community together, because I have had a lot of moms say thank you also, that they didn't understand. And I made a joke about it. Because we educate through comedy. And I said, if your Uncle Humayun was running a red light in his Lamborghini and was mouthing off at the cops the way your Uncle Homie can, and a cop puts his knee in your uncle's chest, in his neck, and he can't, and you'll hear the last word saying, I can't breathe, Mama June. I go, that's what happened. Because you have to give it to them the way they...
Well, actually, that didn't seem like a joke. That seemed very
real.
Serious. Yeah, that was
real.
very real. That was very serious, and unfortunately...
It's true, and it worked.
It's a actual tragedy which happened in my hometown of Washington, D.C. A young 24-year-old male, upstanding member of the community, Jon Cassar, was murdered by the police, and his parents still are awaiting investigation results. They have received no clarity on the situation. There's been a huge cover-up, and it's been extremely unfortunate because it was a disgusting, heinous act. He was unarmed. He was unarmed. He was in his car. What happened specifically was he was in an accident. Okay. A car hit him, and he was in his car. Police came on the scene, and when police came, he started driving off with his car, but at a very low rate of speed. And the police got out of the car and shot at the car, shooting him in the torso, in the chest, and in the head. And he died. He died on the scene. Now, he was unarmed. We don't know what his last thoughts were, what he was thinking. We didn't get to hear him say, I can't breathe.
But there's so much
more. It's possible anything could have happened. This was a person who's never, because they love to assassinate characters. This person had no criminal record. This person was a very loved member of the Iranian American community in Washington, D.C. area. And he died on the streets that day. And that was the day that Iranians got together and they started protesting and they started marching. And I remember, unfortunately, having a conversation with many who had in the past posted things when this had happened in the Black community. Black people need to learn how to speak to the police then, or Black people need to act right, and Black people need to do this, and Black people need to do that. And I reminded them that this is what we were talking about. This could have been avoided had you paid attention to that.
That's deep, because they have to wake up now, because their kids are driving and being crazy, and you will be pulled over. And I'm still scared of the police. And have you ever felt like you were profiled? Yes, right? Absolutely.
My name, okay.
How about my name? Me and you together, okay?
I am Black and Iranian, and my name is Tehran. Have I ever felt profiled or targeted? I have been. My dad targets me. Like, I just, my mom says racist stuff to me. I mean, I've been profiled and targeted my whole life. This is a part of who I am. I'm a bridge between two cultures, two people, two worlds, whether it's educated and the streets, whether it's the hoods and the suburbs, whether it's the Iranians and the Blacks, whether it's America.
You got to bring it together.
And immigrants, and whatever Tehran, it is, I bring it all together.
Listen,
in one place.
Kids love your comedy. We have to send a message. I don't know. They're all our lives matter, yes, but like you said, this is really been...
all lives matter.
Yeah.
There is no but.
Right.
All lives matter. But what we do is, there is no but. We love saying but. All lives matter, period. everyone understands that. Now, when one situation happens, you have to focus on that situation. Remember the tragedy of 2013, the Boston Marathon bombing?
Yes.
Of course you remember that. That was a tragedy in a scar in American history. It was horrible. And as a country, we came together and everyone proclaimed Boston strong. Remember that? Boston strong. Everyone said Boston strong. Even the biggest Yankees fan was saying Boston strong. Every city in America, everyone said Boston strong, wore t-shirts that said Boston strong. We needed to remind Boston how strong that great city was. Boston strong. No one ran in and was like, but what about my city? My city's strong. All cities are strong.
So you really think that all these little subgroups that are popping up now are messing up? He's 100% right.
Of course.
Now that you heard a guy say it and not me, because a lot of moms ask me advice about this stuff.
Sure. It's a very difficult concept if you don't have experience with it. And the truth is, a lot of people don't have experience with it. Then furthermore, a lot of people have never educated themselves on this. All the people who have such strong opinions, they have such definitive opinions. Ask them if they've ever read a book on the subject or even watched a single documentary. Everyone had time to watch Tiger King. Everyone watched Tiger King. But no one watched 13th. And I'm not guessing this. Netflix shows me the rankings of documentaries and shows.
Nina Simone.
I know what's number 1 and what's number 10 and what's not on that list.
And it's really hot. It has all the black shows now. Everything's coming. You know what I just saw, man?
What?
Sam Cooke.
Yeah, Sam Cooke, yeah.
I know it's old. It's before my time, but I didn't know he died like that.
I love how you didn't try to age yourself right there, but we know, Sunda. It's fine. Let it run.
How else would I know if I wasn't born in the 60s? I didn't know they killed him like that.
Yeah, they did.
The FBI?
Yeah. And the FBI, unfortunately, and this is once again not my opinion.
No, it was just something I heard too.
No, I know this. This isn't. No, I'm saying this. These are factual.
Say it. Tehran's an attorney also.
Freedom of Information Act, so we get this information. J. Edgar Hoover was very complacent, and not only the proceedings of Sam Cooke, but Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and many other civil rights leaders. As J. Edgar Hoover, who is the structural leader of the FBI, was a firm dissident of the black rights, of any type of black rights movement. And that became an agenda for the FBI, creating cover-ups, creating criminal activities, and different exposés on black leaders. And in 1999, the King family of Martin Luther King actually won a federal court case which proved that the American government was complicit in the assassination of Martin Luther King. Now, this is information that people don't like talking about.
They don't want to hear it. Why is that?
Because
it's ugly, that's why.
People don't like the truth. We love to say we love the truth, but we don't like the truth. The truth is sometimes too harsh. The truth is why we change the channel when those commercials come on that appeal to our charitable natures. We don't want to see the truth. It's easier to see and feel and live with the big lie. That's why a little bit of information is such a dangerous thing. People read one meme and they become experts.
A meme.
It's crazy how...
He's not kidding, by the way.
100%.
A meme.
A meme. It's crazy how people...
With my daughter telling me, oh, you're going to get in trouble. Mom, you can't use that one. What is this? You can't use this
meme. You can't use it. You have to know which one to use.
How do you keep up with the memes?
Have gone from helicopter experts to epidemiologists to civil rights experts all in 3 months. Like, how is anyone getting an unemployment check? Because all of you seem to have amazing jobs all the time. Like, people are talking to me. People are having this conversation with me, and they're so strong. They know all these things. And I'm like, have you ever read a book on the subject? No. They're like, well, what do you know about it? Well, besides the fact that I have a double undergrad degree in political science and communications, a master's in economics, and a law degree, I still read books. So I know a little, and I'm still reading. So...
And you know what it goes back to? It goes back so far to, it was education that stopped us anyway.
Of course, education is, the most of the problems in the world are lack of education.
Go on.
Most of the
preach it, because I say
everything
it too
from
much.
Economical to financial to environmental to racial tensions, all these things would be solved with education if people actually knew more. A little bit of information is a very dangerous thing. A lot of wrong information is deadly. And that's where we are right now, where a lot of people have a lot of wrong information, and it's deadly.
And it's deadly, but at least you can have a platform to hear, a lot more of what Tehran talks about. And tell them about your podcast.
Sure. I have different podcasts. I have Back to School with Maz Jabani. I have Imperfect Gentleman. Also, my Instagram, I talk about a lot of these things. And I do my best to educate the Iranian community because sometimes you have to speak not only their language, which thankfully I'm fluent in Farsi, read, write, the whole nine.
You're going to say hello to everybody before you leave today in Farsi.
Of course, but also sometimes you have to understand the cultural implications of things. So I explain racism to Iranian families like this. Racism is when your daughter brings home a white guy, it's okay, but if she brings home a black guy, she's a whore. That is racism.
Wow. That's nice. That's
cultural appropriation is when you get very upset when an Afghan says they're Persian. That is cultural appropriation. Is when you're getting upset at them for taking credit for what you think you've accomplished. So we have these ideas. You just have to explain it. And especially right now,
you do. You have to listen to Tehran. You do.
Is a big concern, especially with what's going on in Iran itself with Afghan immigrants in Iran who are facing horrible racism and murder as well. So it's something where this doesn't just affect the United States. It starts here. The reason being is because the United States of America is the beacon, the shining light of freedom, liberty, justice. So if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere.
I say we should vote for Tehran.
Definitely not. I would be assassinated for sure. I would be assassinated for sure. So
and
definitely not.
By the way, I did get your emails and texts, and we'll let you know what's going on with the camp situation. There's a comedy camp that we normally have. Just say something nice, please, for the laugh.
I know we definitely need. Listen, right now we need laughter more than ever, and also comedians. It's our responsibility to talk about social issues. That is what comedians do. Good comedy makes you laugh, but great comedy makes you think. The best reaction is not ha ha ha. The best reaction is that's so true. Breaking the mold of your mind. And that's what many comedians do, whether it's Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, whether it's Whitney Cummings, Wanda Sykes. All these comedians just put things into perspective. Sunda Conquest puts things into perspective for you, makes everything relatable. When you talk about your background and your growing up and where you grew up and your different ethnicities, what are you doing? You're bringing people together and we're all laughing, but we're actually learning.
And let me tell you, this is why I ask Tehran so often for so many of these shows. I mean, we did a mixed chick show. We did another mixed show. And because you guys need to realize at one point, we're going to be so mixed up, you're not going to remember who to hate.
But that's actually, and everyone says, well, when we're all mixed, there won't be racism.
Watch, they'll find something.
I actually disagree with that. Then you'll just remove race. There will still be racism. That's the thing. The concept is to appreciate it now while we are different, to respect and acknowledge each other's differences and understand that no one is taking away. All we're doing is putting back.
That's it, in a nutshell. And we're not looting. My kids are not looting. They were protesting nicely. And I'm so proud of them, by the way, for staying. They stayed a long time. They were beat.
Yeah,
they were beat.
I'm very much against looting, but I am for.
If you got another television,
Yeah, I'm against looting, but
some shoes.
I'm definitely down. I'm down for good deals. So I've been going to places that have been looted and going on the Craigslist to see what I could buy. But that's a different matter. That's a whole different.
And guess what he'll do after he buys it? Because he's Persian, he'll return it the next day.
Return it? No, I'll sell it for a profit. I'm black and Persian.
There you go. You
hustle
see that?
Hard,
honey. HUSTLE. Hustle. Hey. We've said enough and we've said a lot, but you're going to hear a lot more. And again, you can follow Tehran on those podcasts that he spoke about. And I love you, Tehran. I want to thank you so much. This talk show is on the go. We're out.